If the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led like sheep to the slaughter. Truth will ultimately prevail where there is pains to bring it to light. It is far better to be alone than to be in bad company. Liberty, when it begins to take root, is a plant of rapid growth. To be prepared for war is one of the most effective means of preserving peace. Guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism. It is better to be alone than in bad company. Worry is the interest paid by those who borrow trouble. Discipline is the soul of an army. It makes small numbers formidable, procures success to the weak, and esteem to all. Be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those few be well tried before you give them your confidence. Few men have virtue to withstand the highest bidder. The Constitution is the guide which I never will abandon. Associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. Let us raise a standard to which the wise and honest can repair. The rest is in the hands of God. Observe good faith and justice toward all nations. Cultivate peace and harmony with all. The foolish and wicked practice of profane cursing and swearing is a vice so mean and low that every person of sense and character detests and despises it. We should not look back unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors and for the purpose of profiting by dearly bought experience. Laws made by common consent must not be trampled on by individuals. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. True friendship is a plant of slow growth and must undergo and withstand the shocks of adversity before it is entitled to the appellation. It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. Let us with caution indulge the supposition that morality can be maintained without religion. Reason and experience both forbid us to expect that national morality can prevail in exclusion of religious principle. When we assumed the soldier, we did not lay aside the citizen. My observation is that whenever one person is found adequate to the discharge of a duty, it is worse executed by two persons and scarcely done at all if three or more are employed therein. It is impossible to reason without arriving at a supreme being. I hope I shall possess firmness and virtue enough to maintain what I consider the most enviable of all titles, the character of an honest man. Happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. The basis of our political system is the right of the people to make and to alter their constitutions of government. Arbitrary power is most easily established on the ruins of liberty, abused to licentiousness. It will be found an unjust and unwise jealousy to deprive a man of his natural liberty upon the supposition he may abuse it. The time is near at hand which must determine whether Americans are to be free men or slaves. Someday, following the example of the United States of America, there will be a United States of Europe. I have no other view than to promote the public good and am unambitious of honors not founded in the approbation of my country. There is nothing which can better deserve your patronage than the promotion of science and literature. Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness. My first wish is to see this plague of mankind, war, banished from the earth. If we desire to avoid insult, we must be able to repel it. If we desire to secure peace, one of the most powerful instruments of our rising prosperity, it must be known that we are at all times ready for war. Mankind, when left to themselves, are unfit for their own government. Let your discourse with men of business be short and comprehensive. I beg you be persuaded that no one would be more zealous than myself to establish effectual barriers against the horrors of spiritual tyranny and every species of religious persecution. Let your heart feel for the afflictions and distress of everyone, and let your hand give in proportion to your purse. I walk on untrodden ground. There is scarcely any part of my conduct which may not hereafter be drawn into precedent. Experience teaches us that it is much easier to prevent an enemy from posting themselves than it is to dislodge them after they have got possession. Nothing can be more hurtful to the service than the neglect of discipline, for that discipline, more than numbers, gives one army the superiority over another. A slender acquaintance with the world must convince every man that actions, not words, are the true criterion of the attachment of friends. War, an act of violence whose object is to constrain the enemy to accomplish our will. Bad seed is a robbery of the worst kind, for your pocketbook not only suffers by it, but your preparations are lost and a season passes away unimproved. I am persuaded you will permit me to observe that the path of true piety is so plain as to require but little political direction. Overgrown military establishments are, under any form of government, inauspicious to liberty and are to be regarded as particularly hostile to republican liberty. Friendship is a plant of slow growth and must undergo and withstand the shocks of adversity before it is entitled to the appellation